How is everybody doing? I got some good hair today, if you haven't noticed, and my Aussie dad shirt that my stepmother sent me. Just at home, and I was thinking, excuse me, had a little bit of chocolate, a little congested. Thinking maybe I should talk to the peeps. Let's talk to the peeps and see how everybody's doing. I have been. I wrote a blog today, randomly, for any of you on Medium. So I don't know even what brought this about. Good to see you too, man. Well, I think I might continue to do it. If any of you are interested, dylanisrael.medium.com. I'll throw it up in chat. Gonna pin it. Go and give your boy a follow if you're on Medium. So yeah, man, I went on. I did this. I connected to the GitHub API for my personal website yesterday, and just to display like some user data, the amount of followers I have, the total public repos I had, and I kind of was like, I don't know, something this morning about writing a blog. It's been a while, so for those of you who don't know, I used to do a lot of writing, and I'm all about switching things up on occasion. So I think what I'm going to do is write a blog once a week for 3 months about whatever little project item I did. So like, what did I do the other day? The top of page component in Angular, the dynamic tab icon, the just little things like that as I go and continue to grow. Once a week is a lot. It's not a lot okay, so it sounds like a lot, but if they're things I'm already doing, like I don't plan on going and creating like a little project. Right. So like take this GitHub API thing. This is a relatively small thing. Connect to an API. Hey, did you know you could do this? It's not a pain in the ass. Get your data. I already did that for my own stuff. All I did here was just write, 5 paragraphs about it. Is there a benefit to writing for Medium instead of having your own blog? It was just easier for me, if we want to be honest. I mean, Medium, I straight up get a what do you call it? I get some ad revenue or something. But what could happen is I could probably just do both. I don't know. I didn't want to take the time. So I could go and spin up a blog on my personal website, and I very well might. But in the meantime, there's really no harm of just throwing up a Medium, because what I wanted to do was just write right after I did this. So instead of going and figuring out the infrastructure and all that sort of stuff, I just wanted to write. That was the goal. The goal was writing. The goal was not to build a blog. But I definitely could build my own. It's really not that complicated. I mean, if you look at, I was even looking at the Medium API. So the Medium API, you pull down a feed. So the to get my feed, which is a public API route, it only has has a feed key, a status OK, the feed object, which has 6 keys. It has an items key, which is your blogs, and there's only like 10 keys in there. Like I could do that today, but then I have to spin it up. I got to throw it up on Heroku. Who knows? But the idea here is, hey, I'm already doing these little things. Might as well share them in a different format. So I'm probably just doing YouTube videos on it. Like the thing I did here, I'll be doing a YouTube video on, just to showcase, hey, so why not just do a little blog about it and see if you can attract some other people with the same content, sort of kill a couple birds with one stone type of thing. But I don't know, it's kind of fun. Honestly, it's so small that I don't know. But maybe I'll stick with it. I want to give it I give it like 3 months. Which is only 11 more blogs if one a week. So like see how it goes. But I bring that up just to tell you about it for one, so you could drop a follow. And two, it's okay to switch things up. Like I have been trying to figure out what I want to do for a while on some of these side projects, and a lot of it is building courses for Scrimba right now. So it's like that I've really been enjoying, and working a little bit here, doing these small things there. So like in the last 2 weeks, if we were to look at like my GitHub, you'll see that I have like more contributions the last 2-3 weeks. It's just I've been doing little contributions here, little contributions there. I've been following, you know, and it's mainly just like my personal site that I really haven't ever built. And so I'm just adding little features to it. So hey Kelvin, how you doing, man? What's your opinion on module federation and micro app architecture for having multiple spas? That's a lot going on there, and I don't know that I have an opinion. I don't know what you mean by module federation. We're talking about the Space Force? What are we talking about, man? Yeah, I just got done doing a podcast not too long ago with Eric and a guest also. Module federation is a Webpack 5 thing. Oh, I mean, I haven't. Honestly, I deal with Webpack as little as possible. That's that, and I advise you to as well. Deal with Webpack once you have a spot where you're like, oh, I have to deal with this. Awesome doggo, man. Yeah, I got dose doggos. I'm a little stressed out, and so like the dogs, when I'm stressed out, the dogs are overwhelming. Like it's just yeah, because they're just high energy, man. They're not very well trained, so like it's just. I mean, they're good dogs. I love them, but they're not trained dogs by any means. And so it was really rough earlier in the year when I was having some mental health issues. Wait till I have kids. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to having kids. To be honest, I mean, I love my dogs, but I never planned on being a single dog dad. They seem chill though. They're not chill at all. They have no chill. I mean, they're sweet dogs, but like, I mean, they just they're crazy. I mean, you see, can you see how crazy she's looking at me right now? But yeah, man, the ex-girlfriend wanted dogs, and I got dogs for her. And then she left, and she couldn't take 3 cats and 2 dogs, so I kept the dogs because I had the house and better situation. And I'm glad they're here for the most part. Like, let me tell you, if I didn't have any animals during the pandemic, it would have been even rougher than anything else. But it's just one of those things where you gotta do what you gotta do. Take them for walks or runs. I try, man. I just single dog dad. Not single anymore. I got a girlfriend now. I'm off the market, gentlemen. We can continue to talk about my dating life though, but now it's gonna be much more directed about one person. So yeah, man. Yeah, I mean dogs and children. I mean that's a lot of the correlation, right? But like, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't know. Was your aim starting blog writing? I don't know. A little bit of passive income never hurts, but honestly, just sharing what I'm doing in a different format. I just wanted to start a blog. I've thought about it before, and I'm hoping that'll help me, get more into writing and finish up my book. I was looking at LeanPub today, start putting stuff out, so we'll see. Would I be open to going back in the office? I can't wait to go back in. Well, hey Malcolm, I'm definitely very much interested in going and seeing the Amazon campus in Seattle. I don't know, man. I don't want to do the commute. I like working from home. It's hard ramping up and being remote at the same time. Like I think my ramping up process would be a little bit easier if I wasn't working remote. That's not to say that like my team hasn't been great. They have, but yeah, I don't know. I prefer working remote, man. But I never disliked going in the office. I just didn't like. I didn't like the commute. That's always been my issue, man. So I don't know. I think a lot of us are going to be working remote. I think this is my thought. I think is most of us are going to be working remote longer than we probably think. And I also think that once we're back in the office, we're going to be working remote part of the week. Like I think we're going to do a 3-2 for a lot of people, and some people are going to do 2-3, where it's like 2 days or 3 days in the office and 2 days or 3 days from home. That's what I think is going to happen with a lot of devs. I could be wrong, and it's going to vary by organization. But we'll see. We shall see. I probably should work out today. Maybe that's what I'll do. Hold up, guys. Let me grab some pre-workout. I think I'm gonna work out after this live stream. But yeah, man, it's been I mean, I'm I'm definitely not a people person. At least I don't think I am. I keep telling my girl I'm an introvert, and she says, "No, you're not." She doesn't believe me. So, I don't know. I know I'm better than I used to be in that aspect of my life. So, did I ever have any success on Tinder? Tinder is a cesspit for me. Yeah, I mean, I got some dates off of Tinder. It's how I met my previous girlfriend. Oh, that didn't end very well, so maybe that's not not the best. That may not be the best example. So I don't know, man. Honestly, the most normal people I think I've met, I've only having like one or two people I've ever like been introduced to through like a mutual friend. But that's usually when I meet the most normal, not always, but like the most normal individuals, or I have historically. So although they're usually just weird in other ways. The truth of the matter is, when it comes to like dating, I don't know what else I would do besides that and dating apps. Like I don't go to bars. You're never gonna see me at a bar meeting someone. That just seems so strange to me. I'd have to be really desperate to go to a bar to go meet somebody. It's just not my thing. And like all my hobbies are male dominated. So did I have Connor yesterday? I think the whole world had Connor yesterday, besides Dustin Poirier himself. I have to say though, when they squared up, he didn't seem to be all that confident. Do I think the bar is too low or too high for juniors in today's dev market? You know, some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I think generally speaking, the bar is relatively where it needs to be. Hence why the market's defined it. So like, I think interviewing needs to be better. But I don't know, man. It's hard for me to like be like, oh, it's too low. Because like, take a look at me, right? I don't have a degree. I learned off Code Academy and Free Code Camp. And now I work at a FANG company. And I got my foot. I moved 3,000 miles away from my first dev job with $1,000 in my bank account, right? Like I went and I worked hard and I chased it and I did all the interviews everybody else did. And it was a hard, rough road, but like, did I think it was too unreasonable? No. I mean, it sucked at times. Like, it's always going to suck. But that's what I keep telling you guys, is that the hardest part is getting that first job. That's true, without a doubt. The other thing is that at the end of the day, when it comes to your the junior dev market, I think there's a lot of very bad developers. So there's a lot of senior devs that are still at a junior dev level. That's the unfortunate truth. And I shouldn't say unfortunate. That's just the truth. Not everyone's going to put 1,000 hours outside of work into something, right? Like today I wrote a blog on the GitHub API. Yesterday, I built something with the GitHub API. I also recorded a thing on a podcast today. I'm doing a live stream about software. Right? This is the shit I do, right? So you can do it. It's hard work. And, sometimes I think, where do you want to land? Right. Yeah, Malcolm, I'm at Amazon now. I do not speak for my employer or any past employers or future employers if you're watching this. It's just me, purely entertainment purposes only. Does my new girl like computers coding? No, not really. It's been kind of cool though, because like, she was a little tipsy. I was giving her shit about this. She was a little tipsy, and she's been trying to get me into sports more. So like, we went out of town with some of her family, and they're like big sports people, like football. And like, I'm not big in sports anymore. Like, I've watched football and been to basketball games and baseball games and all that sort of stuff. And I used to be a Dodgers fan and Lakers fan many many years ago, but now I don't watch sports anymore. But I go, I partake, whatnot. And she's like, "Aren't you just like, you're she's a little tipsy. Aren't you just like a big Bucks fan now? Aren't they?" I was like, "No, not really. I could care less if they win or lose. If anything, honestly, then this was maybe maybe a little poke in the bear. I was like, if anything, it would have probably been more interesting if the Tampa team lost, so I could see everyone's reactions." She didn't like that, and she was like, and anyhow, what was really sweet of her was like, "Well, I'd like you to give sports a shot. I'd like to give some of your hobbies a shot. So like, we can, I can get to know more about you," which is like truly like been many a year since somebody said that to me. So like, I feel a little awkward talking to her still about like we sat down and started watching some anime this weekend. We were watching One Punch Man. And then I show her some of these little projects I'm doing, and I talk to her a little bit about it when I, call, say hi, whatnot. But it's cool to some of this. I imagine most of this stuff goes over her head, right? She's not a software engineer, but like, I sat her down and said, "Hey, look at what I built today." Or like, so that's cool. Trying to sort of share what I'm into. So there are a lot of very bad companies, that I can agree with 100%. I don't understand how people make it to senior positions with junior skills. It's pretty simple. It's years of experience. People get so okay. Like, you guys want to know what it takes? Is that Diablo 2 game case? No, we're gonna play Uno this weekend. It's a fancy Uno, minimalist Uno. We actually didn't get around to it. But am I a web dev? Yeah, front end engineer. You love to hear about their software engineer DevOps culture. I can't really talk too much about it. I can talk about a day in the life type of stuff, but not about, technical details and things like that. Like, what have my experiences been? They don't know about the D2 grind back in the day. I know all about the D2 grind, the SOJs, Stones of Jordan. Y'all know about the Stone of Jordan? The currency on the streets of Diablo, of Tristam. I know all about it. You ain't got to tell me, man. We're out there slanging them rings, trying to get some epic equipment back in the day, man. But yeah, man, a lot of times. So here's so you want to know the truth? Someone said, like, I don't understand how people make it to senior level dev and whatnot. The majority of organizations, will promote you just if you stay long enough. It truly is a meme that the longer there's some truth to the meme. That unless you're working at like a big tech company where you don't really have any reason to jump jobs, like if you stay at Amazon or Microsoft or Google or Facebook or something like that, where you're getting, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 a year, why are you gonna leave, right? You've made it to a, at that point you just are staying around, get your stock options, or you're like, you've made it to a point where, from a resume perspective, you going from Amazon to Google or Google to Amazon, it's all the same, right? Like, you just from a resume perspective. Now, most organizations whether you're in like the Big Four auditing, or you're in the Big Four tax, or you're in the standard sort of established companies for 5 years, that would be looked down upon to a degree, because chances are you could just stay around and they'll promote you into the position. So, but yeah, you time your way in, and so. Do you know where I could find some good Laravel courses? Udemy probably has some. Do I still play video games? Oh, rarely. I have no plans to buy the PS5, and I have no plans to buy the whatever the Xbox is. The Xbox One. I couldn't even tell you what the actual console name for the Xbox is now. You know, I have other things like do with my time. But I do have a Nintendo Switch, and occasionally I'll play on there, but not really. Did I enjoy the interview process at Amazon? Yes, I did. They did some things that were very different than other interview processes, that I've started to see more and more. And I can tell you that I've interviewed with all the FANG companies, except Netflix. I've been interviewed with Netflix in the past, and this was by far the best interview I've had. And I don't mean like I succeeded in it. Obviously, I did, but I left that interview thinking that was a fantastic interview process. That was a better interview process than I've had. And there's a couple of reasons why, and I can't talk about it, sign an NDA and all that, but it gave me a good feeling about the team. It gave me a good feeling about the company, and it was a much better interview process than I was expecting. Thinking of doing a project in Python? Not a bad idea. Yeah, man. I played Diablo 1, 2, 3. Wasn't a huge fan of 3, but I don't think anyone really was. Warcraft 1, 2, 3. World of Warcraft, StarCraft 1 and 2. All those. So I'm a big Blizzard guy. Big in the Blizzard games. Big in the Blizzard games. So how did I prepare for the Amazon interview? I did an algo expert mainly. I've been getting a lot on LinkedIn are financial advisors, man. Dude, I've been getting one. I accept a lot of little invites from all social media, right? Whatever, I accept it. I'm not gonna run out of space anytime soon, right? But I've been getting more financial advisors. So am I leaving Florida and selling the house? So I don't know when I'm leaving. Everything's kind of up in the air with COVID. So my goal. So I did the math, and I should be able to pay off my house this year. And so if I can do that, I plan to keep the house. Florida for 2 years ago was the number one immigrated state, and this year was the third. So the Florida as an area is growing rather rapidly, which means property prices are going to go up, which means rents are going to go up, which means I can sell and hold on to something of value. So as of right now, my current game plan, is to pay the house off and then have it as a rental income. So I can make about $1,500 in profit after paying the HOA and paying the property management company a month right now if I were to rent this place out. assuming it's paid off. And then you have about 300, maybe it's like 1,300 because I have to pay taxes and things like that. But that's also while it's accumulating value in theory. So my current plan is to hold on to the house. We'll see. Everything's in the air. So I know my family wants me to move ASAP. Yeah, my parents are getting old, man. Rentals are good side income. Yeah, man. And it's like my house is going up like 20 grand a year right now. So it's like, imagine not only, let's just say that sticks at what it's doing. So I make $20,000 a year in equity and I'm bringing in, let's just say $15,000 a year of actual just money in my pocket. That ain't too shabby. And that's if rents don't go up, right? So if I don't need that money, so that's what I'm thinking though. And I don't plan to buy another place until I get married. So that's another thing. Unless I buy like a rental property or something like that. But I have no interest in buying another property until I'm like settling down. So I'm living a wild lifestyle over here. I did a podcast today. Or a software blog. It's crazy. I can't even believe this girl ain't checking up on me every minute, every day to make sure that there ain't some side chick over here. With this lifestyle I'm living, oh my God. How could she ever trust me, man? But yeah, so it's that's my current game plan. Buy duplex, rent out the other half. It's definitely a possibility. All options will be on the table. I'll figure it out when the time comes. Young Padawan. But it's just like anything else. But yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do because it seems to make the most sense. And if I'll do a 1-year lease with or 1-year rental agreement with some organization, and because last time when I tried to rent it out, it got rented out in like 10 days, so it's gonna rent out pretty quick. And now there's a fence, and now it's screened in, and there's ceiling fence in every room, so it should go. Tile's all jacked up, white tile. I have to redo the tile. Not like redo it, but I have to get it cleaned. I have to patch in a few spots. But if the property if the rental stuff is just such a pain in the ass, then I'll sell it in a year. So that's what I'm thinking, though. My 100 algorithm challenge is perfect for picking up a language. Plus, it should help with technical interviews. It does a great job. One day, someone may do it in C#, though. Hopefully. I don't know. I just added, for those of you who've been holding off on the 100 algorithm challenge, did you know that I just added 100 unit testing files so you could test as you go through it? It's lots of fun. Don't miss out. Speaking of lots of fun, I need to follow up. I've been supposing to get some swag from Dev Mountain. I haven't seen anything. Where's my swag, my man? No Amazon swag yet, though. I do have an Amazon AWS shirt that I got from a hackathon for 5 years. Hey, chill. Hey. An email sent. I don't know, Jake P, man. You gotta figure that shit out, though. That's right. I walked up to the AWS guy at the hackathon at 5 years, no junior dev experience. I said, I'll see you soon, baby. Yeah. It's been in the same year. Shameless request for on the podcast. Sure, man. I got no problem. Send me an email about it so I can forward it to Eric. Is it normal for bonuses to be offered after every year of employment? Yeah. Every organization I've worked for has had a bonus, a yearly bonus, somehow built out. Sometimes it'll be stock, sometimes it'll be cash. You know, sometimes it'll be PTO, but there's always some sort of bonus that happens. Something to keep in mind with the bonus is sometimes based on the organization is that your bonus will be, you may not be eligible for one depending on when you started. So like if you start 2 months before, or 5 months before the bonus is, maybe you're not eligible, or you're eligible for a partial bonus. But generally speaking, I would say yes, bonuses are pretty standard. With that being said, don't expect a bonus. I've been dicked on bonuses pretty much I should say dicked. I haven't had any stellar bonuses. Let me put it that way. Not to say I'm not appreciative. Not saying that. What I'm saying is sometimes people think you get these fat bonuses, and some people do. I've had people at the same organization 2 years before I got there who got 2 months of pay as a bonus, while I got 1 week, right? When I started 2 years later, right? So it depends on how well a company's doing. It depends on, if you're doing a good job. Is a bonus just a one-time check increase? Usually, yeah. Usually. And it's taxed different. Usually it's not considered. So it's not considered part of your salary. So this isn't always the case, and definitely not financial advice. But usually your bonus is taxed different, and not part of your income. So it's typically going to be taxed at like a 45%. Like if you get a $10,000 bonus, you're actually only going to get like $5,500. So, the largest bonus I've gotten has been $3,300, which was about, I guess I've gotten one paycheck, about 2 weeks pay. That's the largest bonus I've gotten. But I've known people who have gotten $20,000 bonuses, $30,000 bonuses years ago, but not recently. Definitely not this year. Need to go to LinkedIn to get one of those financial advisors. I mean, I'm not giving anybody my money that I don't know. Also, I do a pretty good job with my own money. I feel like I'd rather spend the time learning how to invest better. But like, I don't know, like I did good this year. This was an easy year to do good. But for the year, I'm up 31% on my own personal investments. Like, that's not too shabby, man. I feel like I'm doing all right over here. But not up like 100% like some of you Wall Street bets, dudes. When I say cash, you say how much? Dude. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever actually gotten a raise. Oh, I've been getting financial advisors for a while. It's definitely been increasing since my new job. So I usually approve them, and then they harass me with a couple messages. I also get a lot of career coaches, dude. LinkedIn is becoming a, it's becoming a hey, let me try and sell my service site relatively quickly. So I get a lot of financial advisors. I get career coaches. I get mentoring opportunities in terms of like they want to mentor me. I get a lot of people who start these weird one-off businesses like, hey, we're here to help with dev physical health plans, dev exercise plans, like stuff like that. Tim Ferriss figured out what a finance degree would cost and took that amount of money, just started doing angel investing. Not a bad idea. That sounds kind of iffy. Yeah, dude. And I'm not saying some of it's not legit. Like, hey, they're out there, they're marketing and whatnot, but like, I'm not giving you 6 figures of my money because you messaged me on LinkedIn. Nah, dog. But I've talked to it's not that I'm against financial advisors. I've talked to my father, who has a financial advisor that he's had for years, and I might just give him my money. But that's something my dad's used for 20 years, 30 years. So, but right now, I'm probably just going to pay off this house with my additional capital. So, like, I don't need an advisor for that. Matter of fact, they would advise me not to do that. I definitely don't want one. Every financial advisor other than Dave Ramsey would advise me not to pay off a house. So, my mortgage payment's going down. I don't know if I told you guys this. I'm rich now. It went down $160, and they're giving me like $500 back. I was pretty stoked about that, to be honest with you. They're giving me $474 back. Yeah, Jason Lloyd. I mean, I tend to feel the same thing. It's never a one or the other thing. The come up is real. Dude, I'm telling you, man. Listen, man, financially, I'm healthy. I'm healthy and I'm happy and it's nice. I've been on the other side of the coin, and I can tell you, like, put in the hard work, guys. Be smart with your money. Keep your cost of living down, and the benefits, they compound upon each other. So I couldn't, I've made some financial mistakes without a doubt, but like, it finances get easier as you understand what it is that you're trying to do. Really, like what are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to make money with my money. How do I do that? Well, I don't spend all my money. I put in things that make money with it, and then that makes more money. So it's a nice thing. I hope I talk about this stuff because I don't think a lot of people talk about it. I also talk about it so that you guys can understand like the benefit that it can bring your life. Auto pay is a hell of a drug. Be able not to stress about bills and just have shit on auto pay. That's it. That's the real come up right there. Having a fridge full of food, come up number 2. Oh man. No more ramen. I still have some ramen in the fridge. Not the fridge, I got the old cup of noodles. Although in fairness, it wasn't for me. I have them as late night snacks. It was my ex-girlfriend had a young daughter, and right when we broke up, they came over like towards the end of when we stopped talking, and I literally put a brand new mattress upstairs for her to sleep in because I got rid of everything, and a frame and all this. And then I filled the fridge with food and the cupboards with like food. There was like easy kids food that like, so they were over one time, and it was one of those things where like, where there wasn't any food for her daughter to eat. And all I had was like my factory 75 meal. So I went and I bought all this crap. I should say crap, but I went and bought all this stuff that I normally wouldn't eat. And one of them was like the cup of noodles, like the 24 pack or whatever. And I'm down to like last 3 or 4, but it's been there for like 4 months. It's been a minute. I'm thinking of buying a condo, but I have debt. Always pay off your debt first, man. Really. Being at debt free is a real peace of mind, man. Have you ever used a pub sub model in Angular? Yeah, all the time. I use a singleton service with the behavior subject that I push to. You got Dunkaroos? Why do software engineers always look depressed? Do I look depressed? I'm a little sleepy. I was up late watching the Conor McGregor fight. I fell asleep halfway through. Then you wake up. You're like falling asleep on the couch, and then like, like, oh my god, and then you're like, oh, I'm awake. It's like literally old man thing where you're falling asleep in a chair. So it's just me and the dogs. I was definitely depressed all last year. I should say all last year. I was having mental health issues last year. Things I'm still working on, and but I don't think all software engineers are depressed. Nice massage chair. Thanks. I might use it after my workout. Do I actually use it? Yeah. Although I don't use it as much as I did before. I used to use it a lot more, but I haven't lately. My mom bought me this, and this thing's fire. It's a foot massager. She got it for me for Christmas. Yeah, man. Therapy was. I don't know. I've never really liked therapy, but I was having such a rough time. I had some bad experiences in my teenage years with therapists, and Is there a trick to stepping through synchronous code? It messes me up. Debuggers, jumping through console logs. Asynchronous code. Yeah, just debuggers. That's just like anything else. Usually when I'm debugging, I like to see when it fires off if it's asynchronous, and then when it actually completes. Oh, JavaScript, pray that you find the bug. Yeah, turn source maps on. If for some godforsaken reason it's not on, turn it off. How's my? I'm not eligible yet, Daria. Are we coworkers, Daria? Dair? I'm sure I'm mispronouncing your name, but my man. Source maps, look up. Source maps are essentially, they take your compiled JavaScript. It's essentially a reference to your compiled JavaScript. It's a map to the source code. So like, your JavaScript compiles and it looks like a bunch of bullshit and you're like, what does this even do? Source maps allow it to, instead of you airing out in the main JS file, it airs out in app.component or modal.component, whatever it is. Congrats on the Amazon job. Thanks, man. What steps should I take to land my job? I worked every day for 5 years. Study data structures, algorithms towards the end. Still need to reach out through Slack. I'm here, man. Just holler at your boy. I'm also in the front end group quite a bit. I'm gonna go through then. Yeah, man. Most frameworks have them turned on. Malcolm. Last I checked. I think I'm gonna launch a component library soon. Source maps allows your compiled main, like your modules all get compiled in like one main thing or a bunch of things. It's all compiled, it's all shortened, it's all this stuff. Source maps essentially allow your compiled stuff to reference back to your actual code where it blows up. Did I do the systems expert as well? I did not. I regretted not doing it though. I don't have any recommendations, unfortunately. I can tell you guys, if you really want to go work at a FANG company, it's more about being, and this has nothing to do with Amazon. This is just a general statement because I don't talk about my current work. It's more about just working hard, building projects, learning, growing, making sure that you're not the same developer 5 years from now that you were year one. Getting your resume to a point where you can get interviews with these companies. Like I don't have any problems getting interviews with most of these companies because I have projects. Like I code. Like I like coding. I enjoy it, right? There's little things I do. You look at my GitHub. if you look at my GitHub, you can see a direct correlation with my mental health and when I took a break by the amount of commits that I did in 2021 versus 2019 or 2020. So like, go make those commits, man. I don't like NGRX. I don't like state management libraries, period. State management libraries are lazy and they're anti-patterns. I need to become a technical architect. This is what you want to know what my end game is. People ask me saying my end game is to become a technical architect at one of these companies. Well, people will listen to me and I can explain why state management as they are currently used are anti-patterns and why there are better CSS patterns. I have all these ideas that I would love to like not sound crazy about because the entire industry loves it, but they're all wrong. So, and I know I'm in the minority about like all this stuff. And that's okay. One day I'll prove them all wrong. So seems like the React world loves it. Yeah. The React world's out of their mind though. The React world oh man, the React world is out of their mind. And the team at the Facebook team that's building React, they're doing a disservice to the entire generation of devs. So anyhow, and also just because people love it and things are popular doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. I mean, it could be an indication of it, but in this case, everyone's wrong. And like all my ideas aren't fully fleshed out. What's wrong with the Redux? It's an anti-pattern by design. What is one of the first things you learn? One of the first things you learn about coding is you don't do globals. You don't do globals, and there's a very good reason for it. Redux at the end of the day is a global variable. That's what it is. It is a global variable. The complexity of it is unneeded also. It's anyhow, man. I'm going to build my component library. I already have 30, 40 components. I just have to convert them over, and I'm slowly going to launch that. And then I'm going to launch my own state management library as well. And one day, when your boy is a technical architect at one of these companies, people will listen to my opinions on these things. Yeah. A global store. Listen, there are things that you may need a global store for. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it doesn't have a purpose. What I am telling you is that 99% of people who are using global stores, you can simply pass a prop to and from. You can simply componentize your state because there's no reason why a single page in your application that uses one piece of state that's modified should store it globally. It's an anti-pattern, yet people use it this way. And the React team has essentially driven so deep into it. It's embarrassing. So anyhow, my point is this: I will do it better. that is my point. But first I want to launch my component library. Can't wait to see it. It'll be a while. And I'll play back all these videos of me being upset about it. I'll have like my gray beard. I'll be like 50 by the time I probably hit a technical architect at some organization. And you'll see younger, angrier Dylan. I'll be a little bit more mellow. I'll be like, yeah, back in the day. I'll lean into it. How do you change a parent state? This is what I'm saying is like you can, okay. First off, if you pass an object, why wouldn't you be able to modify the object? You're passing by reference. That's one way. Another way is it's you guys get me riled up, man. Either that or it's the pre-workout starting to kick. Although I have some of it to drink here. Yeah, or pass an update or function to the child. Yeah. Though, anyhow, my point is this: is that the JSX, by the way, is an anti-pattern as well. The reason this is my main issue with React. This is my main issue with React, is that React has done nothing new. What do I mean by that? If you go and look at like how React has changed, I say this as someone who hasn't fully worked in it too long and like hasn't been there, but React, there's a separations of concerns, and they're wrong about them all being the same concern. For one, so there's also wrong about they're wrong about the fact of doing CSS. When you go back, so like when we learn things, right? When we learn history, we go, we made a mistake and we made a choice and we made a change and it was better. Maybe not perfect, but better. What React has done is they've gone back to development and said, I want to remake that choice. Because I don't think it was better, but it was better. But they just, and somehow it's revolutionary. It's very similar. It's very similar to how Apple takes away features, like take away a microphone jack, and then be like, oh, that shit's genius, dog. Now no microphone jack. It's very similar to that, where just because something's different doesn't mean it's better. Yeah, but Jason, yeah, listen, man. What I am telling you is that most people do that, right? Like, I know that you don't have to. I understand there's better ways of doing it, but there's a reason we don't do inline styles and classes, all these things, right? These are all anti-patterns. So, and for whatever reason, that same mindset of like they can do no wrong has translated over into the devs on the React team. But what we have to remember about all these, these Facebook devs, Google devs with the Angular team and whoever else is they're just dudes like us coding. They're very intelligent people, but very intelligent people don't like to be wrong. Matter of fact, someone who's super intelligent and brilliant is more likely, in my opinion, to argue that they are right for the sake of them being right rather than for the actual being right. And thus you're in this position where people would rather have the wrong solution, but it was their solution, than actually admit they were wrong. And my opinion is there's quite a bit wrong. So, anywho, that's my opinion. You just described almost every engineer. Maybe. I know I just went on a rant about how I'm right and they're all wrong, but I like to think I'm pretty open-minded. But one day, I'm already planning my revenge. When I'm 50 in 17 years and I'm a technical architect, they'll see. They'll all see. Oh shit. And it'll be if any of you are like watch Attack on Titan, it'll be like season 4 of Attack on Titan. It'll be Attack of Dev. I'll be like, I'll finally have my revenge. They'll all see. I wasn't crazy. I knew exactly what I was talking about. But yeah, man, that's I'm sure I'll do a blog about it eventually. I'm not understanding. Sure, my sentiment is that Redux is essentially, in most projects, force and ham-fisted in, and the reason for it is because that it's been perpetuated by the React community, but it's not needed most of the time. There's better ways of doing it, in my opinion. I think, generally speaking, singleton services in your that keep track of state, individual state, is a much better way. About to put mod of Dylan Nusser on LinkedIn. Go for it, dog. I'll leave your review. Greatest mod in the game. I'm 2 weeks into my new job with 2 years of experience already, but still feel overwhelmed. How long does it usually take you to settle a new role when you already have experience? Man, I have a mentor I talk to and my boss and all that sort of stuff, and I've shared that sentiment myself, and I'm going on 5 or 6 weeks now. I feel very overwhelmed right now. And it's not because of anything that my work is doing. They've all been fantastic. It's just taking me much longer to ramp up than I'm comfortable with. Usually I can jump into things real quick, but I'm jumping into React, I'm jumping into Redux, GraphQL, things I traditionally haven't worked with. I'm getting comfortable with the Amazon culture and doing all the onboarding and stuff like that. And it's taking me a while. And I feel very similar to when I was first learning a code. I'd just be frustrated. But everyone's been really great to reassure me, like, hey, it's gonna take you 3-6 months to really get up to steam. So don't worry too much. And what really helps me and what has helped me, Ghost Note, is having those conversations with my manager, having those conversations with my mentor, and just venting and telling them it's okay. They'll tell you it's okay. Like, this is what's expected. I know I have very high expectations of myself. And I'm used to being a high performer, but I'm at an org of high performers. So it's a mind shift. I heard from my buddy that however they rank us at PwC, that one of the leads told us that we were ranked number 1 and number 2 in the Tampa area, and we both left. And so we were used to just being able to be very productive. And now I'm like, I'm probably ranked at the bottom without a doubt, because I haven't done anything and I'm struggling, and it stresses me out and it makes me feel overwhelmed. How do I compensate for that? By being open about it, talking to the people that can give me some direction, and be able to do that. And I would encourage you to. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And ask for help. I'm asking for help every single day now. Every single day I have a meeting on the books with one of my coworkers to say, hey, I'm stuck. I'm not used to being stuck. I'm really not, but I'm stuck. I don't even know how to debug this right now. It's stressful. It stresses me out. But reach out. Don't isolate yourself. It's harder when you're remote. That's probably the hardest part. Is I think I'd feel less stressed if I was there in person, because it's much more natural to just go up to your coworker, right? But remote, it takes a little bit of extra effort. You don't necessarily have that FaceTime quite yet, but you got to force it. Yeah. I mean, it's not only are you making the social connections, you're doing the technical stuff too. So yeah, it's your organization is going to understand that. But it's up to you. The worst thing you can do is just stay back and think people are going to come up to you. No, it's not. You gotta reach out, man. And however, your anxiety or nervousness, your introvertedness, whatever that is, you got to push it to the side. It's never going to be that bad. Everyone understands. Everyone's been there. And are usually willing to help, and so you got to do it. But all right, guys, this stuff is about to kick in, so I gotta go work out. It's been fun. This headset is the USB Pre 2. And I will see you next time. My courses are in the description below. Check them out. Check out the blog, I guess. And then also subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And keep an eye out for tomorrow's podcast. See you guys next time.